evening and welcome to Newswatch on this Tuesday, the 8th day of June 2021. Thank you for choosing Hope TV News. My name is Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Let us begin. The National Treasury and Planning Cabinet Secretary Ambassador Ukur Yatani will present the fiscal year's budget 2021-2022 at Parliament Buildings, Nairobi this Friday. This fiscal year's budget has slightly gone high to 3.6 trillion as compared to the 2020-2021 budget, which was 2.91 trillion, while the 2019-2020 budget was 1.83 trillion. As Dickens Luvanda reports, Kenyans are optimistic that the budget will be able to address various financial issues affecting them and the high cost of living.
Lakini tungeomba sana hii budget, and then pia counties wengi wamelia sana wana mishahara, simply kwa sababu pengine hakuna mgao wa kutosha kuweza kuwafikia hawa watu. Tunachoomba serikali ni kwamba this time round wajaribu kuweka kila kitu katika usawa.
Livingstone Wakalo, a tour operator in Taita Taveta County, is among Kenyans who are optimistic that this year's budget will be able to address the various issues believing the Kenyan taxpayer. National Treasury and Planning Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani is on Thursday expected to present the 2021-2022 financial year budget at Parliament Buildings in Nairobi this Thursday at around 2 p.m.
Ukiangalia kama Taita Taveta, tunaenda kupokea milioni 958 kupitia kwa kampuni ya maji ya Tavevo Water and Sewerage Company. Lakini hiyo pesa ni pesa imetoka kwa wafadhili World Bank. Je, ni vipi mtazamo mzima? Hata sisi ile fedha inayotoka kwa serikali ya kitaifa kupitia mgao wa counties pia izingatie kwamba iweke kasi kubwa ile pesa ndani katika kuendeleza swala la maji.
Kenya's budget has slightly gone high to 3.6 trillion shillings as compared to the 2020-2021 fiscal year budget, which was 2.91 trillion shillings, while the 2019-2020 budget was at 1.83 trillion shillings.
Tunatarajia kwamba bei ya mafuta ambayo hiyo nafikiri inagusa kila mtu. Bei ya mafuta tunatarajia kwamba katika mchakato wa bajeti hii iweze kwenda chini. Alafu kitu kingine ni kwamba madeni yale ambayo wafanyabiashara wanadai, tunaomba ama tunatarajia kwamba serikali katika bajeti hii itatenga mfuko maalum na pesa hizo zilipwe na serikali kuu, zisiende kwa counties.
Even as analysts argue that the country's debt is rising to dangerous levels, hence rising the budget levels, the National Treasury has downplayed those claims, saying the debt level is sustainable. As the country prepares to unveil the 3.6 trillion budget on Thursday this week, 2 trillion shillings from the budget will be proceeds of the government's revenues, leaving a hole in excess of 1 trillion shillings. Despite that, the Treasury plans to borrow over 900 billion shillings so as to fill the shortcoming in tax revenues, making it evident that the country's public debt still remains a matter of concern.
Very worrying trend that we are getting into the budget without really a very clear document that gives us the statistics that we would want to see. So there is need for the Treasury to intervene because that's quite odd. And this makes budget reading, as I said, sound like a composition. It's not, you remember back in the days when we would all really be waiting for the budget.
Kenya's public debt began to swell at an alarming rate from the year 2013 due to increasing government spending plans, forcing it to take loans to support the budget. Statistics from the Central Bank of Kenya shows that the public debt stood at 1.8 trillion shillings in January 2013, and as at the beginning of the year 2021, the figure stood at 7.4 trillion shillings. Occasionally, the government has defended itself over its borrowing spree, saying the borrowed funds during the coronavirus period are meant to contain the outbreak of the pandemic. Dickens Luvanda, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Deacons. Kenyans have been urged to collaborate with security agencies in reporting criminal activities that occur in their neighborhoods. Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, while speaking during the launch of Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP, Excellence Charter and Standard Operating Procedures on Investigation and Prosecution of Serious Human Rights Violation by Police Officers, security sector players are obliged to measure up to the expectations of fighting crime through prosecution-guided investigations and inter-agency collaboration. The Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecution plans to spend 3 billion Kenya shillings in implementing its Excellence Charter in the next 3 years, as Dolly Murigi tells us more.
Members of the public have been challenged to collaborate with security agencies in reporting criminal activities that occur in their neighborhoods. Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i acknowledged the rising cases of crimes in the recent past across the country, including abduction and money laundering incidents, saying such cases can be easily avoided if the public collaborate with security agencies.
We want to ask members of the public also to collaborate with us. All these people who are running wash activities in Thika, all these characters we are picking from estates engaged in money laundering and so on, all these characters we finally trace who are trying to abduct kids live in our midst. It's very helpful sometimes for the public also to be conscious of the rising levels of crime.
The CS was speaking during the launch of Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Excellence Charter and Standard Operating Procedures on investigating and prosecution of serious human rights violation by police officers. The procedures are envisioned to steer the ODPP office into a 21st century prosecution service that is responsive to the needs of wananchi.
Look at how long Mr. Haji has been the DPP and look at what we know and what we can see about the ODPP. I sincerely thank you because now you can see a very serious institutionalized framework of getting some work done. And as you walk into this compound, you cannot, of course, fail to notice the level of commitment and seriousness in the work that you want to put in place.
At the same time, Matiang'i acknowledged the role of security agencies in protecting Kenyans against any form of criminal activities, saying the government will not shy away from its responsibilities. According to the Director of Public Prosecution, Nudin Haji, the Excellence Charter is the ODPP's commitment to provide quality services to Kenyans, and the office is developing an automated performance management system which will make it easier to track and monitor the performance of individual employees, department and office in general.
The Charter sets out and focuses on the organization that we want to be. A prosecution service that is responsive to the needs of Mwananchi. A worthy cause indeed. It is our main objective to inject accountability, transparency, legitimacy, public confidence, and quality control in all our operations with the overall aim of transforming the ODPP into a 21st century prosecution service.
Haji said the fight against corruption has made great strides through prosecution of a number of high-level cases and that the rate had increased from 37.6% in 2017 to 70% as of April 2021.
The general conviction rate for all cases improved from 90.2% in 2017-2018 to 92.5% in 2019-2020 and 91% at Q3. We have every reason to lift our heads high and walk tall. We will, however, always work to improve on these indicators. And the Excellence Charter will assist and help the ODPP aim higher and deliver its mandate more effectively.
Dolly Murigi for Hope TV News Watch.
Much appreciated, Dolly. The Public Service Commission petition seeking an employment tribunal to dismiss a case filed by activist Okia Omtata against the appointment of a new parliamentary secretary, Michael Sialai, has been rejected. Those opposed say Sialai's appointment by contract without parliamentary approval, even after reaching the age of 60, is unconstitutional. Justice Monica Mbaru ruled ruled that the court would continue to hear the case by Omtata, saying that the appointment was an employment matter falling under the Employment Tribunal's power. The PSC, however, maintains that the Employment Tribunal had no jurisdiction over the case. The court ruled that under the law, the appointment of a parliamentary clerk must be transparent and involve the public. 4. Residents of Kabubuti area in Kiambaa sub-county, Kiambu County, have asked the government to erect bumps in the roads around the area following a grisly road accident that claimed 2 lives. The accident saw a father and his son lose their lives while they were entering their home. According to eyewitnesses Joseph Chengecha and Joyce Waithera, residents heard a loud bang in the evening after most people had closed their shops. And when they came out, they found that a vehicle driven by one they claimed to be a novice driver rammed into a workshop, hitting the 2 who died on the spot.
Hii barabara imekuwa ikitengenezwa lakini inatengenezwa very temporary. Alafu haijawekwa bumps. Kuna kona mbaya sana iko hapa juu, na baada ya kona ni mteremko ambapo gari zinakuja na speed kubwa sana. Hapa panataka kuwa na bump. Wakiweka bump hapa, hii eneo inaitwa ya Kibubuti hapa. Wakiweka bump itazuia yule mtu ambaye atapiga kona kule kwa speed arudi aendelee na speed hapa. Kwa sababu barabara imenyooka
na ilikuwa inahusisha gari ndogo, gari aina Vanguard iliyokuwa imetoka huku juu na mwenendo wa bio sana. Ilipofika hapa ilipata hawa kijana na baba yake wakiingia kwao nyumbani, na ndio ilikuja kama imepepea juu ya hewa, na ndio ikawapata na ikakuja ikawaangusha huku na walikufa hapo hapo. Hakuna mtu aliongea chochote. Kwa ufupi tunataka kusema hii barabara inahitaji bumps. Tunahitaji road path ya wananchi wale wanatumianga hii barabara wakienda na wakirudi. Kumegongea watu wengi, sio hawa wa kwanza. Tumepata majeraha mingi hapa kwa hii barabara. Kwa hivyo tungeomba serikali ya Kiambu County isikie kilio yetu, ikuje itufanyie ile mpango inaweza panga tuwekewe bumps, na pia hizo bumps kuwekwa signpost kwa barabara ya kuonyeshana kuna bump.
Ni makanika wake.
Kenya-Ethiopia government officials met today and commenced Moyale One-Stop Border Post OSBP operations, raising hopes to bolster trade and cooperation between the two nations. Once operationalized, Moyale One-Stop Border Post will be the first of its kind in Ethiopia and the 5th for Kenya, with other operational OSBPs being Busia, Malaba, Namanga and Taveta. The governments, with a grant from Africa Development Bank, put up the physical infrastructure component, and with funding from the United Kingdom's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office through Trademark East Africa, supported the integrated border management component. The two components are the fundamentals that enable coordinated and efficient one-stop border post operations. With that development, let's take our first commercial break on Newswatch tonight. We have plenty more coming up, so stay with us.
From country music, classical quartet harmonics,
now I'm a child,
homecoming series,
for he saved the worst among
tent revival, and many more.
Gonna lay down my burden, down by the riverside, down by the riverside.
Watch these great musical adventures on The Bill Gaither Show, featuring Gaither Vocal Band. Linda Randall,
For the God on the mountain.
and many other series like the Alaskan Cruise.
And now I'm feeling mighty fine.
These gospel favorites, recorded in front of beautiful sceneries, guaranteed to rejuvenate your love for gospel music. Bill Gaither Show, only on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome to Activate.
It's a good morning. Good morning.
Kickstart your day with George and Kerry on the Sweet Hour of Prayer.
And welcome to Activate, this being the station where you listen and live Hope FM.
From Nairobi to the world.
Great music just for you.
Activate.
The only show that keeps you activated.
Yes, indeed.
Activate. Every weekday morning from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Only on Hope FM, where you listen and live.
Welcome back. Let's look at COVID numbers today. The Ministry of Health has reported that 433 people have tested positive for the disease from a sample size of 4,479 tested in the last 24 hours. The positivity rate is now 9.7%. Total confirmed positive cases are now 173,072, and cumulative tests so far conducted at 1,840,889. Fortunately, 395 patients have recovered, 133 from various health facilities, while 262 are from the home-based and isolation care program. Total recoveries now stand at 118,621. Sadly, 18 patients have succumbed to the disease, all of them being late deaths reported after conducting facility record audits on diverse dates. This now pushes the cumulative fatalities to 3,326. 1,125 patients are currently admitted in various health facilities, while 4,895 patients are under the home-based isolation and care program. The health CS said 1,005,509 people have so far been vaccinated countrywide. Out of these, 27,382 have received their second doses. Kisumu County, which has been experiencing a surge, had the most number of new positive cases with 129. Nairobi came in second with 84 cases, while Siaya came in third with 24. Moving on, the inquest into the death of Tekra Muigai Karanja resumes on tomorrow, Wednesday, 9th June, and Thursday, 10th June 2021 at the Milimani Magistrate Court. The highlight will be the appearance and testimony of Omar Lali, the late Tekra's boyfriend, who shared the Lamu's residence with her before her death. Omar, who skipped the first sessions of the inquest held in March 2016, was ordered alongside 5 other Lamu residents to appear tomorrow as the judge and DPP's office termed his testimony critical to the hearings. Principal Magistrate Zainab Abdul on March 12, 2021 ruled that Omar Lali had been adversely mentioned by witnesses in the inquest into the death of Tekra Muigai, noting that he must appear in person. The magistrate also summoned 6 other people, that is Kusai Lali, Ali Bakari, Abdul Hakina, Yaya Salim, Ahmed Ali and Omar Ali, who are said to have been the first people at the scene where Tekra got the injuries that caused her death. It is suspected that Tekra may have died after falling from the balcony of a holiday home in Lamu on May the 2nd, 2020. Tana River County is set to become one of the largest producers of cotton after the National Irrigation Authority, NIA, revived the crop production within the Hola irrigation scheme. According to the NIA, the Hola irrigation scheme in Tana River County will be the largest producer of cotton in the country. Farmers in the region are already receiving training on the best methods of cotton farming.
Mwaka jana tulitaka kulima tukachelewa ule muda. Kawaida kilimo chetu cha pamba hapa tunahitaji Januari tuwe tayari tunapanda pamba. Kwa hivyo tukipitisha huo muda huwa pamba haifanyi vizuri. Lakini mwaka huu kwa bahati tukakubaliana mpaka mwezi wa 3, maana yake Januari mpaka March, mwezi wa 3 ndio wakati wa kilimo cha pamba. Kwa hivyo tukaambiwa kuwa kuna aina ya pamba ambayo inakuwa haipendwi sana na wadudu.
Kazi yetu kubwa ni kutengeneza mitaro ya maji na kuhakikisha maji imefikia mkulima kwa wakati unaofaa. Kama vile tumeangalia ile intervention ya kuweka the reservoir, ni kuhakikisha tuko na maji ya kutosha wakati wowote. Mkulima anahakikishwa mazao yake haitaweza kupotea kwa sababu ya ukosefu wa maji.
Let's go across borders now. French President Emmanuel Macron was slapped in the face on an official visit to the southeast of France. In a video circulating on social media, Macron is seen walking up to a barrier on a trip to train Hermitage outside the city of Valence. A man slaps Macron in the face before officers quickly move in. The president, meanwhile, was rushed away. 2 men were arrested in the wake of the incident, according to French media. President Macron is currently conducting a tour of France and had just visited a hotel school in Tain Hermitage. His visit to the area was set to continue on Tuesday, according to officials, with a trip to a vocational institute for 25 to 30-year-olds. Now, more than 800 suspected criminals have been arrested worldwide after being tricked into using an FBI-run encrypted messaging app, according to officials. The operation, jointly conceived by Australia and the FBI, saw devices with the ANOM app secretly distributed among criminals, allowing police to monitor their chats about drug smuggling, money laundering, and even murder plots. Officials called it a watershed moment. Targets included drug gangs and people with links to the mafia. Drugs, weapons, luxury vehicles, and cash were also seized in the operation, which was conducted across more than a dozen countries. This included 8 tons of cocaine, 250 guns, and more than $48 million in various worldwide currencies and cryptocurrencies. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has urged people planning to migrate to the U.S. in Guatemala not to try to enter the United States illegally. Speaking on her first overseas trip since taking office, she said the journey north was dangerous and would mainly benefit people smugglers. Harris warned people they would be turned back at the border. She has been tasked by President Joe Biden with controlling a surge in migration at the southern border. The vice president has described her task as finding solutions to tackle the root causes of the border crisis, including corruption and the lack of economic opportunities. Her staff say this first visit is primarily an information gathering trip.
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
Let's now take our second commercial break on News Watch tonight. Business and sports news is coming up.
Join John Cosson every weekday as he takes us on a journey through the Bible.
Whoever shall seek to save his life, if you go back to living for yourself, you're going to lose it. But whoever shall lose his life, give up his life for my sake, he shall preserve it.
Enjoy interesting, knowledge-packed, yet simple teachings through his humor and in-depth understanding of God's Word.
The last people that tried to put God in a box, literally, he rose again. He wouldn't stay in their compartment. If God was small enough for me to figure out, he wouldn't be big enough for me to worship.
Tune in to Hope TV for John Cosson every 10 p.m., 4 a.m., and 10 a.m. weekdays on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Let's continue with business. Individuals vaccinated against the coronavirus that causes COVID-19 and are worried about developing side effects can now acquire a 2,950 Kenya shillings health insurance cover for up to 60 days after receiving the vaccine. AAR Insurance has introduced Chanjo Cover, the first of its kind in the market, catering for medical expenses arising from the side effects of the COVID-19 vaccine, with a cover limit of 500,000 for inpatient treatment. The vaccine insurance also comes with a 500,000 Kenya shillings last expense benefit in partnership with Pioneer Assurance. Persons aged between 18 and 60 years are eligible for the vaccine cover, but have to undergo a medical examination as per the COVID-19 vaccination guidelines should symptoms of the side effects arise.
Today for this launch for the AAR Chanjo Cover as a partner, as a life partner for the Chanjo Cover. Our main responsibility is to ensure that all Kenyans get vaccinated. They should not fear being vaccinated, and we are going to provide a last expense cover in case of death after vaccination, so that Kenyans should not be afraid to get cover and to be vaccinated.
This product targets all Kenyans, except that children, Kenyans below age of 18 are not eligible for vaccination. So in that aspect, then it takes care of Kenyans above 18 years when they go for the vaccination. And now this product takes care of the effects, side effects, which we think will be minimal of taking the vaccine between the first day of taking the vaccine and 60 days. So between that time, if there is a problem develops resulting from the vaccination, then the cover will take care of you in terms of medical bills up to 500,000, and God forbid if there is a death, then we will pay 500,000 as last expense.
Pan-African Housing Development Financial Shelter Afrique has signed an $11 million housing deal with Harare-based African Banking Corporation. The facility will be used for the construction of 2,500 residential housing units, mortgage origination, home extension and improvement, onward lending to affordable housing projects, and financing small-scale commercial projects such as small shopping malls. The 7-year facility, which includes a 20-month grace period, will be due for repayment in 2027. The announcement of the deal sees Shelter Afrique ramp up its activities in Zimbabwe, which has been announced as the venue for the 41st AGM, having successfully hosted the 37th AGM in 2017. It will be recalled that Zimbabwe was also the venue of the newly established masterclass session of Shelter Afrique Center of Excellence in 2019. And in sports athletics, Kenya, South Rift has picked a provisional squad of 60 athletes that will proceed to camp ahead of the World Athletics Under-20 Championships national trials scheduled for July 17th to 12th in Nairobi. AK South Rift chairman John Wachira named Charles Ngao as the team's head coach, while Gideon Lagat will be the manager and Lilian Chemo is the chaperone. Those selected were Faith Cheroitich, Ronald Kipketich, Benson Kiplagat, Ezra Kiplagat, Bernard Yegon, Iska Chelagat, Evelyn Chepkoech, and Daniel Kiplagat. And Kenya Rugby Union has confirmed that former rugby tactician will be laid to rest this Friday, 11th June in Siaya. His fans will also have an opportunity to pay their respect this Wednesday at the RFUEA grounds in Nairobi before venturing into coaching. Ayimba has featured for Shujaa at the 1998, 2002 and 2006 Commonwealth Games, as well as the 2001 and 2005 Rugby World Cup 7 tournaments in Argentina and Hong Kong, respectively. Ayimba died on Friday, May 21st at Nairobi Hospital after battling cerebral malaria for close to 2 months. Ayimba guided Kenya to a maiden HSBC Series World title in Singapore in 2016. And the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations draw scheduled for on June 25th has been postponed due to COVID-19. The Confederation of African Football confirmed on Monday. CAF officials said that the delay of the ceremony to an undecided date was due to logistical reasons related to COVID-19. Among the 23 countries who have qualified are defending champions Algeria, hosts Cameroon, and 7-time title holders Egypt. And that's where we wrap up Newswatch tonight. Thank you for your valuable company. My name is Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Muriithi. Have a good night, and God bless you.